Hello, 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 ladies. Welcome to Live at 5. Grace and Grind live chat with Coach Nat. I see you, Karen. I'm here, girl. What is up? Diane is on. Yay. Juju. Blaze is on. Liz is on. Party is on. I love it. Let's see. I missed some comments up here. Trying to move around my screen. See if I can move that over. Because I got some things to share with y'all tonight. I want to make sure I have my notes. Oh, there we go. We got a whole little chat. I love it. Y'all are all in the chat already. This is awesome. Oops. Move that guy over there. There we go. Okay. All right, ladies. So I definitely want to hear all about how your challenge has gone. I've already heard from a lot of you. Thank you to everyone who has filled out the final eval form, the questionnaire, sharing your experiences in the challenge, the Grace and Grind challenge, your biggest takeaways, your challenges, obstacles, the things, the aha moments that you had, the things that you are continuing. It's been awesome just starting to read through all of that. So really, really cool things going on there. And I want to hear more in the chat tonight. But before we get into all that, I have a bunch of announcements to make. So let's get into the fun stuff to come. First and foremost, congrats to our 3 weekly winners. Shout out to Diane, Sabette, and Christina, who won a salty bag, a good old bag of salt. Which, am I sipping salty right now? No, I'm sipping Elemensch. But so far, I've already heard from the ladies who have gotten their salties already, and they're loving it. I know Diana is loving it. I gave her the tip, my little pro tip, to mix the orange and the mango together. It's my favorite combo. And so she was feeling that. Diane, let us know what your favorite flavor is so far, now that you've hopefully had a chance to try out a bunch of them. So that was fun being able to give those prizes away. Shout out to Salty. Big thank you to them. Now I have one big prize to give out, one more grand prize that I announced at the beginning of the challenge. And so for those of you who may have forgotten, one lucky lady who has completed all of the 21 days, checked in every day for 21 days, and I have a tally of everyone who has done so. And by the way, if you are one of those who the next day realized, I didn't have a chance to check in yesterday, so you checked in for both days, that counts. You were doing the things every day, and you checked in and held yourself accountable for all of the days of the challenge. That counts for you. So trust me, you are on my list. So one lady who checked in all 21 days and completed the final questionnaire. And if you all have not seen that yet, if anybody has not seen that yet, that is posted in the Facebook group. It is pinned to the top of the group, so you can find it there. Coach Mary Grace and I will be reminding you throughout the week, and that questionnaire will be up all week. So it'll be up until the weekend. If you complete it by Saturday, then you will be in the running for the grand prize. So the grand prize, you will have 3 options. If you are my grand prize winner, you will get to choose from one of 3 things. 1, you can choose one free month in the academy. You can choose half off of a 3-month package in the academy, which makes it incredibly affordable. Or you can choose a one-time private consultation with me, and that includes a initial intake questionnaire and a full hour with me to go through whatever it might be that you need help with on your journey. So that will be your choice if you are our winner for that. Now, I'm super thrilled that so many of you did exactly as I said I wanted to see. My goal for this challenge was for all of you to complete the whole thing, because this was not a challenge that was about doing a certain particular workout or following certain macros or anything like that. It was all about showing up for yourself. So I'm proud to say that, what did I say the other day? 26 of you, 23 of you, something in that ballpark, completed all the 21 days. And many of you completed somewhere between 15 and 21 days. So I'll get you the final numbers when I do the announcement of who our grand prize winner is. Oh, and because I see Tanya here, Tanya, I know you're not in the Facebook group, so I am going to email you that final questionnaire. So you will be in the running as well, because y'all, I shouted out Tanya last week. I'm going to shout her out again because she has continued to send me an email every single day with her check-ins. So definitely want you in the running as well, my dear. Okay, so there is another exciting announcement, because I know how it's like to participate in challenges and there's going to be one winner, and then you're like, well, there's so many of us and I did all of this and I'd like to get something out of it too, right? Well, first of all, I know you're all walking away from this with something, whether it's a major lesson you learned in your life, something you want to now address or change because you've noticed things that you haven't noticed before now. Probably you've gotten some really positive impact from this challenge in one or more areas of your life: diet, lifestyle change, more movement. Maybe you got some weight loss. Maybe you got some other benefits in other areas of your life. We'll get to that in a minute, because I want to hear about the ways that it really benefited your life. But I still have something else for many of you. We have a special offer for everyone who completes the questionnaire to be entered into a drawing for the final special offer. So even if you don't win the grand prize, you have an opportunity to get a free month in the Academy with a 3-month membership. So if you purchase a 3-month membership, you get your 4th month free. So basically you're getting 4 months in the Academy for the price of 3. And for those of you who are familiar with the Academy membership, 3 months is already a discounted rate off of the month-to-month price. So it's $375 for 3 months. That's basically, if you were to go, okay, what is it per month? That's basically about $125 a month versus the $150 month-to-month rate. So that's already a great rate. If you get 4 months for that, it's now taking that monthly price down to under $100 a month, which is absolutely unheard of. So there are going to be a few limited spots that we open up for this special offer, and we will be, after we go through all of the responses to the questionnaire, we will be selecting a limited number. I don't know how many yet, because I don't want to limit us. If, maybe it'll be 5, maybe it'll be 7. We'll see. So we're going to open up some spots, and then we will be reaching out to you privately, one-on-one, to let you know if you are selected. If you are selected for the special, you will receive an email and a DM from either myself or Mary Grace, Coach Mary Grace, because sometimes you don't see our DMs, or sometimes emails can go into the spam folder. So we will reach out to you in both areas. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. We will be shooting those out on Monday. So be sure to be on the lookout. And if you receive a message or an email from one of us, please let us know right away if you would like to take us up on that offer, or if you would like to pass it on to another lady. This is how I always ran my scholarships. If you were around for a while and you saw, it's been over a year since I've done a scholarship. Hint, hint, wink, wink, that might be coming back soon. More to come on that later. But the way I always ran those scholarships was we would open up a few spots. We would offer it to some ladies. Sometimes it wasn't the right time for them, or they still couldn't make that kind of a financial commitment. And they would then pass their runner-up prize on to another lady, which is amazing. It's kind of just the way this group works, right? We love each other. We love on each other. We want, if we can't take it, we want to give it to somebody else. So make sure you respond right away if you hear from us and let us know either, yes, I'm in, I want to take that offer, or please pass that on to another lady. And then we will continue making those offers until all the spots are full. So, so exciting. It's a great way to start the new year. I'm excited about that. So we'll have some new blood in the academy. Side note, so for the newbies, this would be a chance for you to try out the academy at a much more affordable rate. And it would give you enough time to experience real results. I say that because typically long-lasting results take at least 3 months to get. For all the ladies who've been around in the academy or worked with me privately, they will tell you. Usually it's at like that halfway mark. They're working with me for 6 months, and at that halfway mark, they really start to notice and feel all the changes. Before that, it's kind of like, all right, we're doing the things that we're trusting the process and we're trusting Coach Nat. And then boom, one day you wake up and you realize, oh, this is working. So hence if you commit to 3 months, we're going to give you that 4th month free. So this is not just for newbies though. Even if you're an existing member, you are still eligible. So you may apply for the offer as well. So if you fill out that questionnaire, you participated in the Grace and Grind Challenge, you fill out the questionnaire, you too are eligible. So you may get one of those spots, and then you can apply it to your next package. So if you are already enrolled, we can cancel that subscription, and then you can start a new package with that special. So we don't like to leave anybody out around here. Okay, let's see. So that's the announcement there. Let me know if you have any questions about that. And then I also have to share a very exciting new thing that's around the horizon, and that is our new program in the academy. So last year, we started with the Summer Shred. That was my first ever program back in 2020. We brought it back, and a bunch of you have been with me ever since. We had a blast in the Summer Shred. And then many of you stayed on for our second program, which was the Fall Winter Build. And that was a 3-month program. And then most of the ladies in the academy stayed on from the build. So but I know, for instance, I know Liz has shared her thoughts, and I know many of you probably feel this way as well. While the Grace and Grind was going on and everybody was hanging out in the Facebook group, things inside the academy in the chat kind of died down a little bit. There's something about a program, being a part of a program that has lessons every week and everybody's starting together and everybody's going through the same thing at the same time. It just kind of helps with that camaraderie and that community feel. So I'm bringing something really special together, and that is a new 12-week program that will start the beginning of March 3rd. And this is the Prep for Summer program. So basically, I've been wanting to do a mock prep program that really walks through what would we do if we were prepping for a show. What do I do when I prep for a show? What are the phases? What is the process? What is the mindset? All of those things. So I wanted to do that this year, and I thought, you know what? Why wait for summer? Because here's the thing. We all want to look and feel our best in time for summer, right? We don't want to get to summer and then have to work for 3 to 4 months to get the body that we want. So let's build a body for summer together. We'll be starting, Erin says just in time for her birthday. So this program will run March 3rd, right up until, in the US, Memorial Day weekend. So right up until May 26th, which also happens to coincide with the low carb cruise. So if any of you are going on the low carb cruise, like myself and Bronson, for me, I'll be prepping for the low carb cruise. That is my show date. So we'll be together 3 months leading up to summer, right in time to put on that bathing suit. I know Juliana has hers ready. So yeah, that's what we're doing next. All the details, I've got to pull it all together and share it officially, but just so you all know, that's when it will launch. I will share the details likely in the next week or two, and we'll open up enrollment a couple of weeks before March, so likely mid-February. Also, just to say that special to join the academy would basically cover your enrollment in this program. Because if you join the academy in February and you're in the academy for 4 months, that covers February, March, April, and May. So you will officially be a part of the Prep for Summer program if you're already in the academy and you stick around, or if you join the academy now, or if you join the academy, or you can join directly for the program starting in March. And I'll have details about how to do that, like I said, in the next couple of weeks. So very exciting things coming. I cannot wait. Sounds like y'all are a little excited about it as well. Kaya says my mom's birthday. Yes. Tori says prep. Yay. Yes, indeed. And for those of you who've been around, you know everything we do inside the academy and everything we do inside my programs, whether it's a shred or a build or whatever it's called, that's what we do in there. I'm teaching you about how we think about it as physique athletes, how we assess, how we make adjustments, how we make progress week to week, just like we would in a prep. So that's essentially what we do all the time in the academy, but this one will be specifically prepping for summer. So think about what you want to prep for, and you can let me know in the group. All right, let's get back to Grace and Grind, and I want to hear a little bit about your experience. So who has like a big aha moment that you had during the Grace and Grind while you were doing your journaling, and what did you discover? Maybe something didn't get the attention that it needs to get in your life, tends to fall by the wayside. I definitely saw a lot of comments in the check-in, or excuse me, in the questionnaire, the final questionnaire about self-care. Self-care being a big aha moment. Oh my gosh, I'm not making any time for me. That was a common one that I saw. Oh, every day work takes priority and the self-care ends up going by the wayside. I get to the end of the night or I get to my journaling and I realize I didn't do any self-care. Can anybody else relate to that? I think the self-care and the personal development were two that a lot of the time were not front of mind. Oh yeah, Juliana says me, Deb, me. Yep, Simpson, absolutely. Oh, Erin says, I realized that I was wasting a lot of time. Wow, that's powerful. That is powerful when you start to recognize. Have any of you ever done one of those time audits? I had to do this in my old life, in my 9 to 5. When I was managing people, I had to have the people that I managed and myself audit our time. Unfortunately, it was for layoffs, but it's never usually a good thing when you have to audit your time. But it's very telling. It's very powerful to recognize, where are the minutes going and where are the hours going and where can I get some time back? Yeah, Erin says, yes, the coaching program training, I had one that I did. It's powerful when you start to just look at, okay, if I were to chunk my day down into 1 hour blocks and look at like a full daily itinerary, you know, from 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and go all the way down the day, you'd probably discover, although we're saying how busy we are all the time, that there's plenty of time that kind of gets lost in there. And a big concept that gets missed a lot of the time is that busyness is not always productive time. Sometimes we're doing busy work. Sometimes we're busy to be busy, but we're not actually accomplishing anything. We're not actually doing something that moves the needle forward in our lives. I was a big, that was me, big time. Not only in work, but in my personal life. In business, when I was just getting started, just doing a lot of the wrong things, spending my time on the wrong things. And then I didn't feel any better about it at the end of the day. I just felt exhausted. And then I would just be criticizing myself over what I didn't get done. And then it felt like, oh, I just don't have any time in the day. And the truth is, I just wasn't spending my time well. That was a concept I heard. I used to be really big into the Catholic Church and Mary and all of that. And there was something, it was Mother Teresa. I don't remember if it was just a quote of hers or a passage from a book, but it was talking about how she spent her time well. And just thinking about that phrase, I thought, well, that's what I would want people to say about me at the end of my life. She spent her time well, not just doing busy work and not even knowing what happened in the day. I think for me, the most powerful thing about Grace and Grind and doing the journaling every day was that I was stopping and taking note of what I did the day prior and what my plan was for the day. Because the way I like to do the journaling, I always do it in the morning. A couple of days I had to do it at night, but most of the time I was doing it in the morning. So I would do a review over the previous day. I would make any notes about if anything changed according to what my plan was, and then I would make my plan for the day ahead. And so the following day I'd look back, oh, did I do it that way? No, that's not what I did for self-care, but I did this for self-care instead. So sometimes it was just what I planned, and other days it wasn't so much. And some days things didn't get done, but the power for me was in the accountability and in taking that small amount of time. It only took a few minutes to do this journaling each day. Just take this small amount of time to just take stock of where am I? What am I doing in my life? If we did nothing else, it doesn't even matter what the journaling is, but if we did nothing else, but for the rest of our lives, every single day, we had some amount of time where we just reviewed what we did the day prior and what we plan to do the day ahead, everything we would do in our lives would become so much more intentional. And we'd probably cut out some of the things we really don't need in our lives, which some of you are mentioning in here. Let's see. Some good comments in here. Karen, I love it. I'm staying an early morning person and applying that time to personal development podcasts. I love it. You're no longer fighting against your body's desire to be up at that time. And so now you're honoring it. What a beautiful thing. Ooh, Mary says, I found out I have to be intentional about my reading. And I'm sure many of you had a lot of things you realized, I have to be intentional about this. If I'm not intentional, it's not going to happen. That intention is powerful. And the renewing of the intention every day. It's one thing to set an intention, right? I see this a lot with clients, right? The intention is to eat a certain way, to follow my macros, to get in my workouts, right? And you're applying that for the week or the month. And then you might get to the end of the week and do your check-in and say, well, I only got to the gym one time. Well, I was kind of off on my macros. Well, I didn't track every day. Okay, we set an intention once and then you forgot about it for the rest of the week. But if we're setting the intention and we're checking in on that intention every day, it stays more front of mind. And now we can be intentional about our actions and line that up with our intentions. I love it. Diane, I love this. I finally completed a challenge and did not quit. Realized doing this for myself. Yes, that is it. That is it. The not quitting, right? The not quitting. Oh my gosh. If we all look back, we could probably, if we had $1 for every diet that we have all done in our lives, we'd be millionaires, right? But imagine if you just hadn't quit. Whatever the diet was, and some of them are probably horrible, and hopefully, it's a good thing you did quit some of these things. I did the master cleanse years ago. It's a good thing I did quit that. Not that that was intended to be a long-term diet, but all that to say, if we had never quit keto, quit low carb, quit, whatever it was, took a break, came back, and we just figured out a way through and didn't let a daily choice become a failure and make us stop what we're doing, stop in our tracks, and then come back to it months later, we would be at the promised land in terms of what we want for our health and fitness and our bodies and all of that, right? And our health. It's the not quitting. That was the whole point. I'm so happy to hear you say that, Diane. Oh, Simpson, this is powerful. I've cut out the shorts on YouTube. I find that I've been online for way too long, just flipping through them. That is powerful too, because it's TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. That can become a real time suck, especially if you're not using it for a purpose, right? And it's fine to have the entertainment in our lives. It's like I talked about on one of the earlier videos. Have a TV show you really want to watch, or TikTok is a great outlet for me to just go. I haven't done content on there in like over a year. So I'm doing everything I do on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. It's for my business. It's putting content out. It's intentional. So I love getting on TikTok and just scrolling and having fun because that is just entertainment for me. But if I did that for too many hours in the day, then I wouldn't be able to effectively do the other things I need to do. So it's all about that. How do I find that balance of it's okay for me to have these things, right? Grace and grind, right? That's what we're talking about here. Grace and grind. I got to give myself grace and let myself relax and let myself have fun. But also there needs to be balance with the discipline of doing the things that are accomplishing something in my life, giving me something beneficial. Ooh, Mary found I had to prioritize my cold plunge and then get it done by 2 p.m. Everything fell in place after that. I'm not going to share that one, Mary. She says she spent too much time in the Facebook group. Yeah, a lot of too much time on Facebook. Help me with the all or nothing thinking. Ooh, Lana, that's another one. Yeah, you know, you're speaking to my heartstrings on that one. Helped me with the all or nothing thinking, having choices within each category. Helped me think past doing things only one way. Yes, you took and you implemented. That's what I'm talking about. That is 100%. If all we changed in our lives was the black and white, all or nothing thinking, I believe we'd all be better for it. Every single area of our life would be better for it. Juliana, okay, this is such an awesome, okay, this is like one of these, like, it's not a direct result, but it is no doubt, no doubt. She put herself, we were just chatting about this the other day, by the way. Juliana manifested her dream job. She said, I can't quit you, Nat. I went and got a job after stay-at-home mom life for 16 years. Sign up, y'all. You will not regret it. And let me just tell y'all, before the end of the Grace and Grind, she got an opportunity that lined up perfectly. It was exactly what she wanted, everything she needed. And then it fell through, and we had a little mindset chat. And this woman manifested it back, and it came back to her, and she got it. So I'm telling y'all, when you show up for yourself in your life, you teach the universe, you teach God, whatever you believe in, you are teaching the powers that be that you are ready to receive, because you're taking action and you're showing the universe that you are serious. So these things all matter, regardless of, you could take any of the 5 categories and say, if I intentionally focus on this one and I'm doing it every day, I am putting the energy out in the world that I want to get back, and you will just start receiving. It is so powerful. That energy is powerful. It is currency. Energy is currency. Oh my gosh, Lana, this is like, my heart is spilling over. I used to think I wasn't good enough. Having choices within each category helped me with my perception about myself because I was able to show up all the time. That just sums it up for me. When you're showing up and you're not discounting, right? We do this all the time. We talked about this on the first week, Mary Grace's insight that she didn't give herself enough credit. That was her big takeaway from last year's Grace and Grind. Oh, I'm doing things. I've been doing things, and I should be able to count these things, and I should be able to give myself credit for these things. And all this time, I've just been so focused on the things I'm not doing and beating myself up over that. And maybe it's just this one thing, like, oh my gosh, I'm not perfectly carnivore. I ruined it by eating a piece of lettuce, and I didn't do it. So what's the point? I might as well quit, right? There's so much of that rampant in our space. But when you look at 5 areas of your life and, oh, look at all these things I'm doing every day, just having that pride, it gives you confidence. It gives you a sense of, okay, I'm crushing it. I'm crushing it here. Maybe I fell short here, but that's okay. And that's why I was pushing y'all early on that, hey, guess what? I didn't do personal development the day before. I'm not checking it off the box just to make myself feel good, because the whole point of Grace and Grind is that we still have a grind. We don't let grace is not, I could do a whole rant about this because I see this so much everywhere. Giving yourself grace is not letting yourself off the hook. And that was the thing I really wanted to bring across here, was by checking in every day, whether or not you did it, it's not just saying, oh, well, I didn't do it. It's looking at it, taking responsibility and having accountability and saying, I did this. I don't get to say I did this other thing because I didn't do it. So I'm going to say I didn't do it, and I'm going to look at how I can accomplish that tomorrow. How can I do better? Because I'll tell you what, oh my gosh, I almost forgot I have another exciting announcement that I know you are all going to love because you've been asking for it. I'm bringing back the masterclasses, and we're starting next week. Next Monday, I don't know yet if I'm going to be doing the Monday masterclasses every week, but starting next week, February 5th, the masterclass to top all masterclasses. Are y'all ready for this? Drum roll, please. Breaking up with your scale obsession. Not breaking up with the scale, letting go of your obsession over the number. How to stop the struggle with scale weight. That is probably it. That has to be the number one of all time, of every client I've ever worked with, of every woman who's ever come through a program, the number one struggle. No matter how long you've been in this journey, it still creeps up. This thing has been living inside our heads our whole lives about the damn scale number. So next Monday, we are going deep on digging up the real issue, getting past the issue so you can finally look at the number without it freaking you out or sending you off to misbehave or do something that you shouldn't be doing. Oh, girl. Oh, ladies, we are about to get into it. I cannot even wait for this masterclass. I'm so excited. Scales are not evil, Mary. They are inanimate objects. She corrected herself very quickly. No, not really, just data. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about. If the scale is bothering you, there's something you need to work on. And we're going to talk about what you need to work on, because I got real triggered watching somebody's Instagram the other day. Somebody I respect, a coach in the space who's been doing this a long time. And there was a post that just got me fired up about how she hasn't known her weight for many years and she was perfectly fine. She had healed her relationship with her body. And then she saw the number on the scale at the doctor's office and it screwed her up. And if y'all know me by now, you know, if the scale can mess you up that badly, you are not healed. You are not healed. So we're going to talk about how to really heal, because we don't want to throw the scale away. The scale is a very powerful, very important piece of data. So we're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into why the scale is not lying to you, how you can desensitize yourself to the number that you're seeing, how you can understand what goes into that number so that you can talk yourself off the ledge when those thoughts come up, and how to deal with the real issue so that you don't end up in the bottom of a bag of cookies from not seeing what you want to see on the scale. So y'all show up for that one. Okay, what made me say that now? It was about, the accountability piece, right? Because the reason why we don't want to look at the scale is because when we have put on body weight, because we've put on body fat, we don't want to see what we have done. He's like, oh, she's about to go in, but I'm not going to go all the way in because that's for next week. But that's the underpinning. So we're going to get into that on Monday. But that's the underpinning there, is that the reason you don't want to see it is because it's showing you what you have done and you don't want to take accountability for that. So this is why the Grace and Grind was all about the accountability piece, because it was about showing up every day and not quitting because you missed one thing, or, that's why we end up quitting when we see a number we don't want to see on the scale. So, all right.
The scale's not lying conversation.
I started, but it's all a teaser for next week.
The scale's not lying. Scales don't lie. We should do a little.
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. There's actually a song, y'all. Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne has a song. I used to play it on my way to work.
I was thinking Shakira, but whatever.
That's hips don't lie. That's hips don't lie. That's so funny. But yeah, no, I need to get Keto Bikini. My next Keto Bikini t-shirt is going to be "The Scale's Not Lying." Take your butt to the gym. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh boy.
You can play off of the hips don't lie thing, like have the hips. Wide ass hips, the scale don't lie.
Oh boy, that's hilarious. Yeah, the pictures don't lie. Mary says the pictures don't lie either. Exactly. This is why we take pictures, we do measurements. I'm going to get into all of that next week, because the other reason, I'm giving out all the answers now, but the other reason why the scale holds so much weight in your mind is because
that was very funny.
He appreciates the puns, the dad jokes. So the reason it holds so much weight for you, and the reason why it causes people to quit or whatever, or stress out or stress eat, is because that's the only metric you've looked at. You have nothing else to look at. So of course you're going to be like all bent out of shape by whatever the scale is doing. Because if you don't know your body composition, you don't know your measurements, you don't have pictures, there's nothing else to look at. Oh, big one. Not tracking workouts, right? Not tracking macros. You can't make any connections to what's going on the scale. So you start to make it all about you. There's something wrong with you, that you can't do this, that the scale's lying to you. We say the scale's lying to us because it makes us feel better. It couldn't be anything I did. It's the scale doing it to me. All right, there was a great comment. I want to go back up because I'm going to beat the scale like a dead horse. There was a great comment early on about an aha moment about protein. I'm trying to remember who said it. Somebody said,
eat more protein. How come my lives are never live like this? You are popping.
Because it's our last one of the Grace and Grind. They had to come check in. More people than last week, I think. Oh, Tanya. It was Tanya. Realized just how little protein I was getting.
How many times a day do we hear that?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's one of the first things, usually the first couple of weeks. I don't know how these get pinned to the top. I guess it's just like, whoa. I just did something weird on my end, y'all. I'm playing with this new laptop. I'm doing things. But no, that's super powerful because that's another thing. A lot of people in their first couple of weeks, when I first have them start tracking their nutrition, I'm always shocked at how low the protein is. And then I'm happy about it because I'm like, ooh, they're going to make progress like crazy because as soon as we get their protein up, things are just going to start moving. So that's powerful. When you start to track, if you haven't been tracking, you start tracking. And spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't worked with me yet in any capacity, that's always the first thing we start with. I'm going to ask you to track. We don't do magic macros around here. We're not just like pull macros out of the air, out of an online calculator. We want to see what you're doing, and we start there. And a lot of the time, you get a lot of insight just from seeing what you're doing before you get any coaching. Even when you're just having to fill out, I've heard before, just for my intake forms, oh, just filling out the intake forms, I feel like I know myself better. That's why the journaling is so key. So how many of y'all, I think I saw some early in the chat, before I even popped on, talking about what you are continuing. So tell me, what are you continuing? What of the 5 areas, or what particular habits within the 5 area buckets did you decide, oh, I want to keep doing this? Oh, Mary, you're so sweet. Gonna make me blush. I know that Liz and Lana have been continuing with all 5, so that's awesome. Are there any of the 5 areas that you all feel more connected to after this that you really want to make the priority? Maybe that you noticed we're not getting as much priority time from you. Simpson says all. Mary says journaling. Still trying. It is not there yet. Start the way I did. I would just put each of the 5 areas and then just put what my intention was for the day. So it didn't have to be like a long drawn out journal entry. It was just mindset, AM meditation, devotional, journaling. I counted my journaling as part of my mindset stuff. And then I would write my little intentions for each area, just bullet pointed. It doesn't have to be anything profound. Oh yeah, Erin, I agree. So many in the low carb space are opposed to tracking anything. Yep. I think there's a lot of thought out there that, keto is magic and carnivore is magic. And if I just go keto or carnivore, I'm going to get all the results. And that can happen for people for a long time when they first switch over because you were eating sad diet. And yeah, of course, you're going to lose a lot of inflammation, water weight. A lot of people are not working out. They're not tracking anything. They're eating a lot of fat and not enough protein. They end up losing a lot of muscle mass because they were never looking at body composition. They were only looking at weight. And weight was the thing that told them they were successful, and they were successful to a point until they weren't. And then they stalled, they plateaued, they couldn't make any more progress. They didn't know why. And many of them end up here. So welcome, ladies. You will always be welcome here. And we will talk about how to get to the next level because that's what this group is all about. Tori says, I want you to train the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Train with or train them? I'll tell you what, boy. Funny story. I actually tried out for the Atlanta Falcons cheerleaders once upon a blue moon. I should try to find those photos. I wonder whatever happened to them. I did a photo shoot around that same time when I thought I was super fit. And it's so funny now to look back at that because that was like, God, what year was that? 2006 or 7, I think. So long ago. I didn't make it. But I remember watching the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders when they would show like their training camp on TV, and I wanted to do that. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. Lana says she's sticking with all 5 areas with the flexibility within each. I love it. Yes. Working on that gray area, grace within the grind. Tanya says, continuing to work on getting enough nutrition. Beautiful, beautiful focus. Christina, movement will increase to weight training and self-care, more attention. Oh my gosh, Christina, I can't tell you how happy I am to hear you say that. I've secretly been like waiting for you to do that. I'm like, yes, she's going to start weight training eventually. I know it. Ooh, Mary, I'm getting better at morning gratefulness. I love it. The gratitude popcorn, baby. Erin says, I'm trying to keep on top of professional development, being more deliberate. I will tell you that is the number one for me. And I got to shout out Coach Mary Grace right now because y'all, ever since, and she and I talked about her coming on in some capacity. We talked about it in early December, maybe November. We talked about it a while back. But we started putting things in motion December. And then once it got official and I announced her in January, it was like a switch flipped in my mind. And I have just been eating up all that I can in the way of entrepreneurial finance and, all the things that have to do with being a business owner. Everything changed from feeling like a self-employed coach to a business owner, even though I've been a business owner since 2019, when I officially formed my business. Having Mary Grace on board just feels different. And I've been diving into the professional development on that side of things, which has been really, it used to be very overwhelming and scary for me, just like diet and fitness can be for many of you. And I've always seen that parallel of, wow, the way I think about business, building my business, marketing, all the things I have to learn as a solopreneur, or I'm not a solopreneur anymore, but as a solopreneur all those years, was I would feel the way I knew my clients felt with changing their diet and their and starting weight training. It was new, it was scary, it was overwhelming. You have to choose it every day. You have to push through when it gets hard. So even though I've been doing the health and fitness thing for a long time, I'm still not perfect, by the way. There are other areas that I am a white belt, and those are the areas I can absolutely 100% relate to what you're going through when it comes to your health and fitness. So we are all white belts. If you don't know that term, it's like when you're doing martial arts and you're a newbie, you're a white belt, you're new at something. And you're only going to be a white belt until you're able to get that next color and that next color. So we learn by doing, and we have to do it dirty. We got to move through the mud. We got to work through the grind and not quit. That's the grace part, right? Okay, may not be perfect, but we're just going to keep moving forward, and we're going to fail forward, and we'll get better. One of my biggest platforms lately has been, don't seek to make it easier, seek to get better, get stronger. And then you'll be able to handle so much more in your life. And then you'll just be amazed at what opens up to you. So I'll just say, like, over the last few weeks, diving into the business, I feel more confident and secure as a business owner. And that energy, like I said, y'all, that energy changes everything. So you just bring more and more good things to you when you're in that energy. So I love that. Yes, the professional development. I know Erin's got some goals now on that side of things. So it's great to see you taking those steps. Let's see. Karen, mindset and self-development. Yeah, I will say, for those of you who haven't had like a mindset practice, a solid mindset practice on a regular basis, that was the game changer for me 5-6 years ago, right before I left my 9-to-5. If I had not spent, it was a good couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years, that I really focused on what I was putting into my mind, right? Our diet is not just what we're eating. It's what we're feeding ourselves mentally and emotionally. So I did a lot of that work for years before I was ready to jump the gun and like go out on my own. And it was still scary as hell. But doing all of that preparation on the mental side of it, even if I didn't have all the nuts and bolts of what to do, when you are in the right mindset, you can overcome anything. You can see the obstacles as challenges and know that you can get past them. That will serve you for the rest of your life in anything that you attempt. Level up, baby. Yes, Deb. All the low carb ladies need to join this group. Heck yeah, I agree. Bring them in, ladies. Bring them in. And then we'll work on removing the old programming and putting in the new. Unlearn to relearn. Mary Grace says, I noticed that nourishment and movement are pretty ingrained. I want to make sure I continue intentional personal development and mindset. Self-care, I do pretty well until I don't. Oh, that's a good one too, to make the connections of what are the things that get in my way. If there's a particular thing that I do well most of the time and then sometimes it doesn't, okay, what's the thing that's usually like the roadblock that gets in my way? Tori also tried out for cheerleading. Woo woo. Ravens' first cheerleading team. Wow, I love it. I love to discover the things that we have in common. Dancers of the world unite. Deb T is carrying forward all 5 of them. I love it. Y'all are my tribe, man. You're like, I want these women to eat more protein. Carbs are not evil. Yes. High-fat carnivore coming from high-fat carnivore, right? Once again, they're an inanimate object. They cannot be evil. Progress, not perfection, indeed. Blaze says, I'm thinking about continuing my daily morning mindset throughout thought for the day posts in the Facebook group. Oh, please do. They've been amazing. It's been awesome to see those every day. Yes, I would love for you to continue that. And here's the thing. It's been amazing to see just the momentum and the energy in the group in the last few weeks from being a part of this challenge. So please do continue to post. It may not need to be that you have to check off all 5 every day and do a check-in officially, but post something in the group, whether it's a meal or a workout or a flex on Friday or any day of the week, really. Share your transformation, share your wins for the week. We'll start doing some posts to get you, me and Mary Grace, we'll start doing some things to get you all chatting a little bit more. We'll do some themed posts of the week. Maybe we'll do like a Wednesday, Wednesday, share your wins, something like that. So y'all can continue to check in. And look, I know that a lot of the ladies in the group are not able to afford coaching. So we want the community to be a place where they can go and still get support and guidance, because some of these women are really freaking crushing it on their own. They've been taking it, applying it, and they're doing freaking amazing. And y'all, I did that for years. I couldn't afford doing a program with anybody. And I would just get into the groups. I would learn what I needed to learn. I would apply it in my life. My first competition prep, I had no coach. I did it all myself. I was very much a self-starter. So I love to see that happening in the group. And I definitely want to encourage more of that as well. So feel free to, anything is open to be shared in the group. And as I always say to the ladies who are in my program or are working with me privately, there is nothing that's not relevant to your health and fitness journey. I see a lot of the time in check-ins, sorry, but like apologizing for sharing information about your life that may not have anything to do with your workouts or your macros. But everything is relevant to your health and fitness journey. Yes, Juliana, it's all connected. Yes, it's all connected. Exactly. We don't live in a vacuum. It's not only the workouts and only the macros. And my clients know we talk about biofeedback all the time. I need to know if something's impacting your stress levels, impacting your sleep. You're an emotional wreck because XYZ happened. You had to go to the emergency room, whatever it might be. These things matter because they're impacting your body. They're impacting your mind and your body. And those things show up. So when did I do this? Was it last week's live where we talked about, maybe it was a Zoom, I think it might have been our Zoom call. We talked about all the different things that can impact water weight on the scale. So that scale, again, it's not just looking at your body composition. It's not even weighing your tissues. It's sending electrical signals through your body to try to guess what your body composition is. So most of the fluctuation we're seeing on the scale is water. Most of it is not a reflection of what's happening with our body fat, but we are attributing that to it. Yeah, it was the Zoom, exactly. So because there are so many variables that impact our fluid balance in our body, and that's impacting the scale, it's very important for us to take stock of, was I stressed today? Was my cortisol extra high today? Did I not get to sleep last night? There's so many things. And it all matters, even if it has nothing to do with what you're eating or how you moved your body that day. So I always love to talk about the holistic, life. Life is happening all the time. And that ties back to our original theme, which is it's about not quitting, right? Life is going to get hard. If we're waiting for life to get easy and all of our stress to be like to have no more stress in life to take action on our goals, we'll never take action. So instead, we should build ourselves up to be able to handle the stress that life throws at us and not let it take us off track. Because the truth is, the stress is not taking us off track. We are going off track. We are allowing the stress to then to make us, which it's not making you, by the way, every single action you take, if you do nothing else from here on out for the rest of your life, I want you to adopt the mantra, everything is my choice. Every action I take, I chose to take. Nothing and no one can make me do anything. That donut that somebody brought and put right in front of me cannot make me eat it. The stress that I feel from whatever happened right before that person brought that donut, that stress that I feel cannot move my hands and feet. Only my central nervous system has control over my limbs. So if I pick it up and I put it in my mouth, that was my choice. I am taking ownership of it. I am responsible for it, and I don't get to place the blame anywhere else. Own your shit. I did a whole talk on that. I think it was maybe the first one of January or at the end of December. Okay, we got some questions. Yeah, throw me some questions. We're coming up on our hour, so if you have any questions about anything, like grab me while I'm here. All right, Christina asks, besides the InBody, which scale seems the most accurate? I know you've mentioned this before. Sorry for asking again. Y'all know what I'm going to say. The ones who know me, y'all know what I'm going to say. Don't ever apologize. You don't have to apologize. No need to ask. No need to apologize for asking again. You can ask the same question a million times, as many times as you want. I'm here for you. I got you. The biggest thing, here's the thing with that question. Forget about accuracy. None of them are perfectly accurate. Pick one and stick with it. Pick one and stick with it. And then what a lot of my ladies do, they also use the Navy body fat calculator as a backup. And that uses your body measurements, your weight, your age. I can't remember what else you have to put in there, gender. And it will give you an estimate on body composition based on the data you give it. So you can take measurements, you can use Navy body fat calculator, and you can pick whatever home scale that will give you more than just weight. It could be a cheap one. You can go to Target or Walmart. Smart scales are great. Any digital scale that gives you at least body fat mass. Anything more than that is extra, but that at the minimum. And then I definitely recommend taking measurements because that way you can use the Navy calculator, and you also have the measurements that you can compare that show you in a different way if you're making progress. Deb says that should be a shirt, own your shit. Okay, we can make that one too. Maybe we can use the little poop emoji. Juliana says the Navy body fat calculator hurts my feelings. Give me the scale. But that's the beauty of having both, because then you can say, okay, this is what this one's giving me. This one's giving me this. And some of y'all in the group have asked me, okay, this is what I'm getting here. This is what I'm getting here. Can you give me your professional opinion? And I will go in and look at your photos and I will tell you what I think. And another great resource that I shared in the body composition workshop was to Google body fat photo image chart images. Do an image search, and it will give you, for women, they'll do a women and a men at different body fat percentages photos. So you can say, okay, if I'm looking at my body and my scale is telling me this, do I think that that's accurate based on what I'm looking at in these photos? You can kind of compare your body type, but that's going to be very different based on body type. So none of these measures are perfect. We just pick some and we use them for the trends over time, as Coach Mary Grace mentioned. Yes. She said 1 million times, LOL, pick one. That's the thing, is a lot of the time we can get stuck in looking for the perfect thing, right? The perfect way. Well, what's the perfect way to start carnivore? I'm going to start once I have all the information, right? You're never going to start because you're never going to have all the information, right? What's the best one to use? The one that you're looking at consistently. That's the best one. What's the best diet? The one you can do consistently. This is, Julian, I think it was you that gave me a great idea for a masterclass. And I have to go back and see if I have done. I think I did do one way back, but I may want to amend it and do another one. I think I did way back. I did one on what's your style of keto, that there's all these different, keto, carnivore, ketovore, all the different types. And how do you pick the right one for you? I did a what's your style of keto? You know what? You've inspired me. I will drop that one next because I don't know if I ever made that public. And I've been looking at what are the ones I want to start making public. So here we go. Make public style of keto masterclass. I got you. I'll drop that in the group for you. Again, it's in there, but I'll drop it to bring it to the top of the featured section. Teacher's pet. You ask, you shall receive. This is how we manifest, y'all. Put it out in the universe what you want. Ooh, Simpson. Okay, this is powerful. She says, I have to wear suspenders to keep my pants up, but the scale shows I have gained and the lean body / bone is lower. Reason why I have put the scale aside. Here's a little tip for you. And this is something I have to warn my ladies when they're, particularly if they're going from higher carb to lower carb or low carb to keto or keto to ketovore or ketovore to carnivore. Anytime you're kind of dropping those carbs down or doing anything else that reduces inflammation and you lose water weight on the scale, it is going to come out of your lean mass. So it can make it look like your lean body mass is lower if you are more dehydrated. So it could be a hydration issue. And that's interesting that it shows the scale gained, but then it's showing that your lean body mass dropped. I do see funky things happen like that with me. And this is the power of tracking. Because if you're tracking what you're doing, if you're tracking your nutrition, you're tracking your activity level, you're tracking other things in your life like biofeedback, which is what we do. We look at sleep, stress, all of those things, right? Then you can look at the scale alongside all of those other factors day to day and week to week, and you can see the trends, which one of the things I encourage is looking at the scale every day, not once a week, because once a week, God only knows what happened in between those 7 days. Because she said, I've been carnivore since April. So we still have fluctuations for many different reasons at any given time. And water fluctuation also will change your body composition on the scale, changes weight and body composition. Yeah, Christina says I didn't know about the lean body mass and hydration. I discovered that I had a rude awakening when I went to do a DEXA after I went from keto to carnivore. And this was only maybe a matter of 10, 15 carbs, maybe 20 carbs at the most of a difference between one DEXA scan and the other. And DEXA is not an estimate, it's actually measuring the tissues. And my lean body mass went down. And I was like, what the heck? And then my DEXA tech explained what was going on there, which, by the way, if any of you really want a deeper dive on body composition testing, I have a public YouTube video about it with my DEXA tech. He explained the difference in the different types of body composition testing measures, like bioelectrical impedance, which is what InBody is, and DEXA and hydrostatic weighing, which is BOD-POD, and those kinds of things. So that is kind of interesting if you want to go check that out. But for Simpson and for anyone else who is seeing these weird things happen with your scale and it's probably messing with your mind, number one, it's the mind we have to get in check, not the scale. So I would look at it more frequently rather than less frequently, and then you can see trends. Everything we do inside the academy, everything my private clients do, it's all about averages. We want to see our average over 7 days. We compare our average to the next 7 days. We don't ever look at one point in time and compare it to another point in time, because especially as women, most of my ladies' charts look like this. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So we have to take averages, and then we can get a real picture of whether or not the trend is going down or the trend is going up, and then what the trend is doing with body composition as well. And then usually the trend with body composition, once we look at the averages, it evens out. So that even if your lean mass is down, that might just be for one particular day. You could be dehydrated on that particular day, and that could have been what caused that. So it's really powerful, though, to have more data rather than less data. Less data is like we're running away from it because we don't want to see it. And that's not empowering. That's not an empowering place to be. An empowering place to be is give me all the information, right? If you were running a company and the financials, you look ahead and you're like, oh my gosh, we're not going to make revenue at the end of the month. I better not look at my finances. Don't show me the finances anymore. I don't want to know. No, we need to know, because if that's going to affect our business, right? We would not treat our budget this way. If we had budgetary goals, if we were trying to get out of debt and we don't like the numbers we see, if we turn a blind eye to the numbers, because I don't want to see it, we are not going to accomplish that budgetary goal, right? We have to do the same thing with the scale. And if it's triggering, we need to address what is going on internally. Why am I triggered? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? Process through that. Don't throw the scale away. All right, I kind of gave a major, like half that masterclass already, but we'll go through it in more detail, because I want to give you next week, when we get into the scale stuff, I really want to give you practical strategies and mindset tools to help you actually overcome that trigger rather than having to step away from the scale. Because stepping away from the scale is just a crutch. It's just, this is what hurt my heart when I saw that post from a very reputable coach, that she had been healed for 10, 15 years, and now she's not, and now she's feeling all this kind of way. It means there's something she never addressed within her. And I don't want that for you all. I don't want you to just put a Band-Aid over it, go carnivore, and that's going to fix everything. And then I still have a struggle with food. I can't moderate. I can't think about or look at any food that's not perfectly carnivore, or else I'll dive into a cupcake, a batch of cookies, right? I see that all the time, especially in the carnivore space. I see, I ate an olive, so now I've got to eat the cake. It's the same concept of like this, we're not dealing with the real issue here. While carnivore can be a very healing diet because you're removing anything inflammatory, the removing of the inflammatory thing is actually only one step in healing. If you actually want to heal your gut, like the physiological side of it, removal is step one. And a lot of people are just content to just stay there for the rest of their life. And I'm like, hey, if you're happy there, cool. I personally would like to be able to eat other things without them causing problems in my body, my health. And I intentionally worked on the mental and emotional side of food because I also wanted to be able to indulge responsibly and not binge. So it kind of applies to both of those things. This concept of like taking something away is not the full solution. It's part of the solution, but it certainly is not the end all be all. It's not a fix, especially not for the emotional and mental stuff and the habitual stuff. That's why I really wanted to do Grace and Grind too, because it's more about the habits. We start taking stock of our habits. That's everything. That is everything, because it doesn't matter if, look at how many people in the keto space are just replacing all the junk food they were eating before on standard American diet with keto versions of it. Haven't made a single lifestyle choice. And I know a lot of people who are still severely overweight. And now that's it. That's their new comfort zone. And they're just going to stay there for the rest of their life, eating all the keto comfort foods. Because it was never really about changing the habits that got them there in the first place. And now they're stuck. And as long as they don't change anything else, they're going to be stuck there. Okay, here I go, getting on and off my soapbox. Christina said that is my exact goal. Yeah, we want to be in control. We want to be in power. I want to hold the power of control, the power over my choices. The scale doesn't control me and food doesn't control me. All right, ladies. Here I go. I tend to rant because I get fired up about this stuff. I know y'all don't mind. We keep it real here. All right. Any parting words from anyone before we hop off for the night? I'm super excited to see y'all keep going, keep spending time with yourself, giving yourself that mindset and the personal development and the self-care stuff, the things that we don't think about as often. That's where all the beauty is and the power is. All right, signing off. I got to do a little sign off for Juliana. Got to do the little flex. I still desperately need to improve the symmetry of my biceps, as you can see. Okay, there we go. Here's a little tip. Some of y'all have been asking for opposing tips, and I have videos coming for you. I watched a cool. Actually, I'll post this in the group. I watched a funny video with Dana Lynn Bailey, big time bodybuilder, Miss Olympia many years back, and Meg Squats, who's another YouTuber who I really enjoy. I think y'all would like her stuff too. So I'll post that for you. But a little tip, if you are doing your flex and you want to take a photo, first you want to bring your whatever muscle you want to look big closer to the camera. So if I have it back here, it looks smaller. If I bring it up closer, it looks bigger. And then a little twist, rotation, rotate the elbow forward a little bit. And then it pops this delt and it pops the bicep. Just a little trick there. Woo, look at that little delt pop. Just from that little rotation. So there's your posing tip for those of you who hung around long enough to see it. I'll bring some more posing stuff at y'all because I know you really want to see it. And we will definitely talk more about that in our Prep for Summer program. All right, ladies, I'll see y'all in the Facebook group. If you have topics for future masterclasses that you want to see, drop them in the group and let me know. I got you. I will add it to the list. Have a wonderful week. Keep gracing and grinding. Peace.